Welcome to the MPC Academy. In 2.10, you can now connect any compatible class-compliant audio interface or mixer, expanding the I/O capabilities of your MPC, giving you up to 32 inputs and outputs, which is perfect for either summing up your beats to an external outboard mixer, routing individual outputs directly to your DAW, connecting microphones for vocals or drums, to controlling your entire keyboard collection using an external USB I/O mixer. So in this setup, I'm using MPC-1, which has a left and right input and output, but when connected via USB to the Model 12, this has now expanded my MPC-1's I/O to 10 inputs and outputs, giving me full control over my beat. As you can see, I'm now controlling my individual outputs of my drums directly from the mixer. Now to do this is very straightforward. If you navigate to the Preferences, to the Audio tab, and here you can select your interface that you've got connected to your MPC. Now to enable all 32 inputs and outputs, simply highlight the box. Now to assign our samples to individual tracks from our MPC, we go to our channel strip, and here we can select our outputs. We can simply hit the pad and select the output that we want to route to our external I/O mixer. Once you set up your channels, you can now play your beat back and have full control to mix your beat by using our brand new I/O support in 2.10. We can add EQ, balance out our drums till we get our mix right. Using the I/O support in 2.10 also allows us to reroute the audio back into MPC's inputs and record these as audio passes, as our audio I/O has now been expanded to 10 inputs on MPC. So we can now set up individual audio tracks, and we can now record our mixer passes directly back into our MPC. I simply go to Channel View, and here I can see all of my inputs from our external I/O device. And once I've selected all my inputs, I can hold down Shift, arm all my audio tracks, and record up to 8 tracks simultaneous in one pass. So in this configuration, I'm using MPC-1, which is connected using a USB hub to the Model 12. This expands our I/O to 10 inputs and outputs on MPC-1. And then we're driving MIDI multi from our USB hub, which is driving our micro and our Mini Nova. So this setup allows me to record and sequence MIDI from our MPC and have full control over the audio from each synth, which is routed directly into the Model 12. I can then capture any of the audio from our synths in real time back into the MPC as audio tracks. Now this setup means that we can reuse our synths for additional parts and record them as audio tracks. So on this setup, my MIDI is driving from track 1 and track 2, so I can actually trigger my MIDI from the pads. And I've already got some chord progressions that have been driven from the MPC sequencer. So let's take our MIDI part and let's use the Model 12 and recapture the audio back into MPC in real time. Now, if you've got multiple keyboards in your setup, we can actually record these all at the same time via the Model 12 with up to 8 audio tracks in Standalone. So now that we've recorded our micro, we can actually use this keyboard for something else. But what I want to do, I'm going to record the Mini Nova now. And again, I'm going to play back the micro, which is now audio tracks, and use the Nova and record over this. So let's now go to track 2, hit record, and now continue our performance. Having I/O support on MPC means that you can utilize the inputs and outputs on external devices so you can control your entire studio setup. This feature is great for live doorless jamming or just simply routing all of the audio from your synths into an interface.